G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. Spawning in on the west side of the map in the color green, playing as the Abbasid dynasty, it's Lucifron. Oh yeah. And on the east side of the map in the color yellow, playing as the Chinese, we've got Beastie. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I am back. I tell you what, I feel a little bit bad for you guys because I came in hot and I told you if you enjoy this video, make sure you like and subscribe. I will just put that in quickly. But I told you there's going to be plenty of content coming back online for you guys. I've finished a PC. It's all coming together. And then disaster struck. I fell sick, and this was a pretty bad sickness, a pretty tough one. As you guys will know, I've got a son now, and I think he's just got a propensity to, whenever he meets people, he picks up the little bugs, and he brings them home, and then as a result, well, unfortunately, he gets sick, we all get sick, but that's the way that it is with kids, and that is, I guess that's part of being a parent, isn't it? That you're going to be sick quite a bit. So I'm going to try and avoid making that mistake again, and make sure that I've got content in the pipeline for you guys. So hopefully now, I mean, you guys can probably still hear my voice. I'm a little bit nasally, and hopefully we don't have too many issues in today's cast, because I'm confident this is going to be an absolute banger of a game. Two of the world's best players going up against one another. You know, what more could you ask for than seeing two of these guys going up against each other? And take a look at this. We're on Drying Arabia, and they've both gone for two eco-civilizations, two civilizations that want to boom. And that is what excites me. So what kind of opening are we going to see from Lucifron? I would suspect we're probably going to see just an eco-wing, nothing too crazy. At the same time from Beastie, I would expect that we're just going to see Song Dynasty 2TC in a fast castle. These are by far the safest options that you've got in this matchup. The problem is that if you try and go outside the norm, you just will get punished. And that's the reality of it, right? Like, if Abbasid Dynasty... I mean, Abbasid might be able to do some sort of trade shenanigans. Actually, can we take a look? Trade posts are right here. It's not going to happen. We got Culture Wing coming down. Hello, a little bit of Culture Wing for you. Lucifron 7. Do we have a bit of a fast castle into TC spam coming out here? That could be the case instead. See, for me, I don't see the reason why you'd go Culture Wing unless you wanted to fast castle. So is he maybe thinking of, like, do we go Culture Wing into Military Wing? Get the... I tell you what, I'm already taken by surprise, so I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Any time that I'm wrong gives me an opportunity to learn. And today we're going to be learning from one of the best, Lucifron of 7, of course. Drops the 7 from his name sometimes. You know, I've been thinking recently, you know, some people, their names are a little bit flexible. Like, you have Lucifron and Lucifron 7, Beastie, Beastie Cutie. And I don't know what to call them, because it's like you go to Beastie's channel, and it's Beastie Cutie. You go to Lucifron's channel, it's Lucifron 7, and yet we got Beastie in game and Lucifron. So there's a part of me that just thinks it's absolutely fine to call them both. Just whenever you write Beastie, whenever you write Beastie Cutie, just don't capitalize the cutie, all right? If there's one thing I know about Beastie, it is he absolutely hates that. I remember meeting him. I think it was in, obviously we'd met before, but I remember talking to him in Heidelberg about it, and he was quite sick at the time as well, actually. And he was just like, I can't stand it, man. These people capitalizing the cutie in my name, or like putting the emphasis on the cutie. He's like, it's not Beastie QT, it's like Beastie Cutie. It's just like, it's meant to be quick. But anyway, we move on, we move forward, and we look forward to this game because, you know, I'm an ex-China main, and that means that I've still got a very soft spot in my heart for China. And I'll be honest with you guys, I'll be frank with you, I haven't actually played a ranked game in the season yet. I'm hoping to do it this weekend, hoping to go out about it. I'm thinking I'm going to start off with a Smurf account, and I know that might seem like a bad idea, but I'll be honest, I want to keep my strats hidden. I want to keep my name out in the shadows for the most part early on, until I at least know how to play the game again, because I tell you what, it's been a while. I mean, I was Conk 3 in the last season, and I think it's probably been about 3 months since I've played in a competitive circumstance. I've memed around and all that sort of thing, but let's ride on board with Lucifron now, who you can see right now is getting that preservation of knowledge. It comes through. Does he look to pick up upgrades straight away? What is he doing here? Let's have a little bit of a look, because he's got access to specialized pick. Double broadaxe comes in. Reduced price on this. Not a huge amount. It's 20% coming through. So he's going to be looking for a bit of an interesting opening. Now, this is something that we've seen before out of Marine Lord, almost. Now, you'll be familiar with Marine Lord's Russ opening, which is where he uses the gold from the hunting cabinet, the hunting cabinets, I think I was going to say, the hunting cabins, to get those tier 1 upgrades a little bit earlier than other civilizations, and then goes into 3TC after that. Have we got a similar thing happening here for Lucifron? You can see he's picking up wheelbarrow right now. We've already got that double broadaxe out. He's not going to be putting fertilization in the queue because you don't want to have it in the queue at the same time as wheelbarrow. So he could be looking for specialized pick here as an option for himself. And then while he waits for that extra gold to come through, then he could look to get fertilization after that all happens. So let's see what he does here. Because if he does plan on going fast castle after this, I would suspect that that's probably going to be the right call. But we know that he's going to be looking at least a second TC here. I would suspect he's going 3 TCs. I would call you crazy if you played Abbasid and didn't go 3 TC against China. You're just asking for it. You're asking for a spanking. You're asking for a paddling. And you know me, I'm a Simpsons fan. And if there's anything I'm happy to do, it is watch a paddling. But on the other side of the map, though, Beastie has aged up, and we can see that he has well and truly begun work towards his second TC as well. So nothing too crazy, nothing out of the ordinary, with the exception of the culture wing on the other side of the map. But for Beastie, let's take a look at this Imperial Academy. Really decent Imperial Academy, actually. There's no way to get this gold vein in unless you were to do something like around here, but even then, I think that's still too far. Whereas we can see here, he manages to hit 3 facilities, or 3 production facilities, 3 drop-off points with that Imperial Academy, and it also gets the secondary lumber zone, the wood line. Jeez, how long has it been since I've casted Age of Empires 4? I tell you what, it's been an absolute while. But we have that second TC now coming up from Lucifron. It's going to be on the hunt, which leads me to believe, oh no, Lucifron, you can't be making a mistake like that, my friend. I say mistake. Is it really a mistake? I mean, he might just look to move these villagers over. That could actually be the play, moves these villagers over onto stone. I can't help but feel it's very dangerous to play 2 TC against Chinese 3 TC, because it just guarantees that they're going to hit Imperial before you. And if they hit Imp before you, it's pretty much GG, just because they get the elite upgrades in. And it's going to take so long for you to respond with your own Imperial, just because of the time that it takes. You know, we're talking 2 minutes for an age up. Tier 1 Golden Age only coming through now, which is a bit of a head scratcher for me, right? Like when you think about it, right? Oh, okay, he's come in, he's got his tier 1 upgrades. He hasn't got the mining, hasn't got the horticulture. So he what has he even got out of Culture Wing? He got Preservation of Knowledge for a cheaper age up, and he got double broadaxe and wheelbarrow. I don't feel like that's really value, man. Is that really valuable? Like, compare that to Fertile Crescent, which reduces the cost of your houses, reduces the cost of all your eco buildings, obviously reduces the cost of your TCs. Is that really worth it, Culture Wing? I don't know. There's a part of me that just thinks it's not. He's going 2 TC Culture Wing. Okay, this is kind of interesting. The timing on this should be pretty good, though. I guess the big question is, how much is he saving off Fertile Crescent versus how much is he saving off Culture Wing? I suspect it's actually pretty comparable now that you think about it, or now that I think about it, right? Like, if we were to say, so for the Fertile Crescent's 25%, it's 20% off the age up. I'd have to sit down and do the math, but I'm pretty confident it should be close. So we'll have to wait and see, and especially the fact that he's already got that upgrade now. So it goes into Military Wing. I do like this, actually. If this is a tempo build, this could be really good. Now that I think about it, because he's already got he's already got the Preservation of Knowledge in, which means he can look for his tier 1 ups at a reduced price, look for his veterancy ups at a reduced price. Oh my god, did you just do what I think you did? There's no second scout out, is there? So he's not. But maybe he spots the scout moving around the top side and he doesn't want to telegraph what he's doing. Oh, this is a tempo build. He's going for it. Okay, all right. We're seeing the evolution of the meta. It has evolved while I've been away. We are seeing some pretty wild stuff right here. Now, there was a game that sort of played that I always reference because I think that he just played such an immaculate game when he did it. It was Culture Wing into Eco Wing. And basically just did a fast castle, picked up relics, and then just went 3 TC behind it. Actually, I think he went like 4 or 5 TC behind it. But it was like a slow transition, and he was making units. He was keeping up pressure the whole time, and I really loved that. That impacted me. I'm not going to say impacted, but I enjoyed that a lot, and that's in a really nice part of my brain. But look at this. Beastie almost realizing what's going to be happening. Sees where the Raxes were going to be placed down. Now begins coming over towards the front. He senses that there's danger and the walls are coming up. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, Lucifron, towards that top side, is looking to try and scatter out and will spot the walls out and go, ooh, walls. That's a problem. Not that his accent's like that. It's probably a little bit, you know, he's quite a quiet character. I'll say that much. And his accent probably isn't that. That was more like a Mario Brothers accent. And look at this archery range just coming down immediately. So not going to be able to find your damn Ghulam spam today. But let's see exactly how Lucifron's going to be able to deal with this. The age up comes through within a second of each other, and the Moss comes down immediately after. Ghulam's now in queue. These bad boys are not going to have any problems getting past the cheeky little palisade walls that have been placed out here. Not at all going to be a problem. Villagers able to chop it down, collect some wood out here while they're doing it as well. You can see right now, there they go. Lucifron obviously on the ball. There's only the one Vill. I thought there was two, but only the one manages to come through. Crossbow is out, so Beastie going to be looking to supervise here. Indeed. Oh no, we've only got the one supervision at the moment. Also going into a barracks, which is the right call. Crossbow spear here, definitely the correct play. You want that spear for your front line, and just because there's always a risk that your enemy may look to transition into something other than Ghulams. So it makes a lot of sense here for that spearman to come out. It's such a safe combo, right? Like, you're never going to lose a game by opening crossbow spear. It's just not possible, right? Like, your enemy spams out archers, great. You're going to have to wait to push under my TC, mate. It's just not going to happen. There's just no risk of you dying to anything with it. So definitely the right call from Beastie. But one thing to note is Beastie is scaling, and scaling much faster than Lucifron. Consider this, okay? They're both on 2 town centers, but Beastie's got Song Dynasty on his side, which reduces the time it takes for villagers to train by 5 seconds each, which means that after a minute, on one side, Lucifron has made 3 villages in this town center and 3 villages in this town center. That's a total of 6 after 1 minute. Whereas Beastie has made 4 in this town center and 4 in this town center, which is a total of 8. So for every minute that goes by, Beastie is building a lead of 2 villages every minute. And that's massive. And that's part of the reason why I expected or almost called out the requirement to be going 3 TC in this position, just simply because Lucifron will get outscaled in the long run. And I can't help but feel like any kind of aggression like this is probably just not going to be enough. We can see up towards the north side, though, the Ghulam is coming in. He's got 3 of them towards that top town center, continuing to throw down walls. Beastie looking to secure a sacred site behind it as well. More and more villagers moving forward, and Ghulam's now starting to take over the map. He's got presence out here, but there's not a whole lot of production back here. I take that back very, very quickly. I suspect we might be moving into crossbows ourselves. Crossbows, I tell you what, they get a lot of flack, but I love them. I think they're probably the best unit in the game. Just, you know what? I can't say they're the best unit in the game, because the knight is the best unit in the game. Even though the crossbow counters the knight, but then I'm like, the spearman's pretty good as well. You know what? Maybe there's not a best unit in the game. Actually, you know what? There is a best unit in the game. It's called the Nest of Bees. That thing is an absolute beast. So yeah, don't play with fire. You will get burned. But for the most part, on the top side, no damage has been done just yet. 0 villager kills apiece. Fertilization coming through right now for Beastie, so looking to pick up some big upgrades. Expect to see, are we going to see the farms come down relatively soon? I don't think we will. He's still got quite a bit of food back here, so fertilization is a bit of an interesting one, because that's not horticulture, baby. That is fertilization. Now, looks like some archers going to be firing off. Now, keep in mind, he does have access to composite bows, and not only that, but he's already researching it together with the veterancy. So if there's a way to be countering this, it's definitely the way that Lucifron's doing. But the problem that he's going to have is that China wins this game. Why does China win this game? Okay, so let me extrapolate further, because it's just like a chess game, it seems to me, or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu if you've ever practiced. Because what happens here is these archers come out, and +2 comes in for Lucifron, and then composite bows, and he's investing all these resources, and he gets a nice big archer mass, 30, 40 archers. And then Beastie says, that's fine, I'm just going to start making a nest of bees. And now the nest of bees, and when the nest of bees comes out, then all of a sudden, Lucifron has to fall back, and he says, okay, well now I need a springald. And now Lucifron goes back, gets his springald, and then all of a sudden in Beastie's base, there's a keep. So he can't push past the keep, because the keep protects the nest of bees from the springalds. And so now you've got this issue, and then Beastie hits Imperial, Beastie gets roller shutter triggers, and then Beastie kills you with his own springalds, and now all of a sudden there's nothing you can do because of the nest of bees. And it's just like, it extrapolates that far ahead. I'm curious to see if it plays out that way, but that's typically the way I've seen it played out in this matchup, and part of the reason why you have to go for that 3rd TC, because we can see already Beastie is ahead by 20 villagers at this stage. He will use that economy to scale. Let's look to see whether he will go for that nest of bees. We'll switch it over now to our income per minute. get a bit of an idea of where we're at. The Palace Guard's going to start coming out here. Might have to start mixing in a couple of crossbows just to help out against this. But Lucifron, despite going for that early tempo strategy, is only getting in these upgrades now. We can see Horticulture is coming through, Specialized Pick, as well as Forestry. A great technology there for all you wood lovers out there. But still back behind the base of Beastie. Is it just me or the colors of these a little bit darker than what they usually are? Normally I feel like berries are just so... They're popping. They're popping off my screen with their vibrance. But not today. Not today, it seems. So, Lucifron's picked up 4 relics in total, and he's also got a sacred site under his belt. Well, technically 2 sacred sites. Technically 3 sacred sites, because the sacred victory is approaching. And that's a lot of gold that's coming in, right? You're talking 400 gold, or sorry, 300 gold there, together with the 320. So 620 passive gold that's coming in. But let's compare the pair. You've got about, what is it, 17 or 2,700? 3,500 resources a minute coming through for Beastie at the moment, versus Lucifron, who's sitting on about 2,300, 2,400, somewhere around that region. So Beastie a huge amount ahead of where Lucifron is at the moment, despite the passive gold difference. So that passive gold will eventually come in once Lucifron hits that 200 cap. But before then, as long as Beastie is trading effectively with him, he's got the advantage. And now up towards that top side. Palace Guards starting to be mixed in quite heavily here. We see the first nest of bees is finally in queue for Beastie just before the 16-minute mark. It's going to force Lucifron out of the base. He's going for a sacred victory, but I can assure you right now that what he's doing is not really a sacred victory. What he's just doing is simply gathering resources. That's it. He knows that he can't really contest this, that it's behind the wall. Beastie will very likely neutralize it shortly. And we can see those Palace Guards starting to move out onto each individual sacred site here. He knows he needs to get it. I promise you there is a Palace Guard behind this sacred site. And up towards the north, we will see that shortly as well, as units will inevitably move up there. And now, this is the point, right, where Beastie hasn't won a fight, but he's broken even. His economy started to build up. He can start thinking about Imperial here. You can go for that preemptive Imperial, because you know that with your nest of bees, it's unlikely your enemies... Sure, they're going to be going into siege themselves. They've got access to the Springwood out on the field, but once you've got to go back to get that Springwood up. And the chance is that Beastie looks for a keep, and now we see there is stone getting gathered up. Don't tell me, where is it? There's only a handful of villagers here. Okay, I saw the 18 gold in there. I'm like, okay, it's happening. He's probably just moved a whole bunch of villas onto stone. But it looks like it's going to be a little bit slower. But the double mangoes now coming out, and that could look to put on some pain here. But interestingly, none of these sacred sites have been neutralized just yet. What's going on for Beastie? Has he just not bothered to do it? He's got a little bit of a patrol route coming up. A couple of raids heading in on that backside. We see the Palace Guards together with a few spearmen here. Going to get cleaned up by the Gulams, but villagers have gone down. He's picked up double digits already. Up to 12 villager kills now. Meanwhile, behind this, Beastie will be neutralizing this sacred site with a crossbowman. And unlikely that his enemy looks to take it. Now taking advantage of the fact his enemy built a mill next to his own berry bushes. He's going to be able to get extra resources out of it. Double mango comes out. Expect to see Beastie with a Springwood in queue. Indeed we do. Now up to... He's got 9 seconds left on it. Double nest of bees, though. This is going to be the problem. You're running... You know, you're up against here a majority of... There were spears in here, but crossbows. And the weakness to crossbows is going to be mangoes. But remember the mangoes? The clock tower Springwood's out, not to mention the archer mass that is here. 28 archers obviously do very well against crossbows. To be honest, if you take it a one for one on a population level, crossbows do pretty well against archers. Where it starts to get a little bit worse for them is in the cost efficiency. So as long as you're fighting, as long as you're happy to fight a cost inefficient battle, then by all means, feel free to go crossbows against archers. Does bait out the shots on the mangoes. We now start to see the Springwoods moving forward. Walls continuing to come down. He closes the hole, and now we can see. Look at the stone that he's got in the bank. 661. Just as we suspected. And at this point, I would expect to see Lucifron come back and make Springwoods. I did not pre-watch this. I promise you right now, I have not pre-watched this. I have not seen this game, but I can tell what's going to happen. I love playing the Chinese, but I feel like a fortune teller right now. Like, he goes back, makes the Springwood. He's got the stone for a keep. The keep will come down. Actually, where does he put the keep? Probably somewhere around here. You want to go really defensive with that. Just make sure you're not going to die. That's the main thing. Actually, now that you're kind of getting pushed from here, I could justify a keep even in this position here. But I tell you what, this is starting to look a little bit scary for Lucifron. It's all coming down to this one battle, this one inevitable battle that is happening right now. And Beastie's numbers have built up. He's up 30 villagers now. He's continuing to take out villagers as well. I don't know where it's happening, but I can just see that villager number slowly dwindling for Lucifron. Down 32 villagers, the difference between these guys. But 1,000 stone in the bank at the moment for Beastie. He'll be looking to drop down a keep shortly. Just remember, he's playing the Chinese. So he gets to pick where he wants to put this keep. Lucifron going to be looking to place that keep down, but remember, it's only going to be a matter of time. Beastie's maxed out. He's going to be Imperial shortly. All he has to do is choose when he pulls the trigger. Throws down the farms now. Beautiful farm transition timing, 20 minutes. Units starting to move forward. Doesn't have to take this fight. He's outnumbered. Springalds might have a little bit of trouble here. Trades out on the Mangoes, but the Springalds able to take off the backline. Nesta Beast should be able to get through without too much of a hassle. Mangonel's not going to have too much of a trouble, but the Springalds are taking out Mango. Yet to turn around, still dealing with the trouble from the Palace Guards. He's not even going to need it at this point. He doesn't need the keep. He doesn't need Imperial. He just takes an incredibly good fight on this top side. The Palace Guard's way too strong. There's no front line for him, for the archers on the back. There's nowhere near enough crossbows here, and you can see now all of a sudden the archers have decided to turn on the weapons, but hold your horses. The Nesta Bees on the back line managed to dish out some damage there on those archers. More units coming up. The keep on the front line should be solid here. But behind this, Beastie adding in more and more units. Continuing to look to hit towards that backside. The archer balls still stand. Villager count has dwindled. 77 versus 117. 40 rather villagers the difference. The keep comes up, but at what cost? You've taken this fight. The fight wasn't particularly successful. You haven't mixed crossbows, not nearly enough, and now finally they get mixed in to deal with those Palace Guards. But I can't help but feel like it just goes back to not having that front line. Now, Beastie's also got a really safe gold vein, which means that even if he goes in, he's got another gold vein back here. He's got so much gold on this map. This is kind of wild. I say on this map, what I mean is on this spawn. Or at least, not on this spawn, but in what he's secured, right? Like he's intentionally come across here, walled this off and said, this is mine, I'm taking this, and as a result, makes it a lot harder to challenge the gold back here. He's intentionally left his gold here on the backside. I don't know where he's even gathering from. Is he gathering? He's not even gathering at the moment. He's got 1,900 gold in the bank. He doesn't need to gather right now. This guy is he is juiced up on gold. 193 population at the moment for Beastie. 153 for Lucifron. The scaling has happened at this point. He is well and truly scaled into the late game. Let's check in over with Lucifron and see how his farm transition's going. Keep in mind he's not playing Eco Wing, so he's paying a lot more for his farms than what an Eco Wing player would be paying. You can see they're full price 75 compared to that. What is it? 50, 54, something like that. Wood. Probably not that low. What is it? 25% reduction. So 75. So you're talking, geez, don't make me do math on stream, guys. Come on. 75, 30, what's 36, 37-ish? So 37, and then half of 37. You're talking, like, what, 17, 18, maybe? It's too complex. I can't do it. Anyway. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done math in the video. It's one of those situations. Spirit Way now coming through for Beastie. This is the nail in the coffin right now. Because as soon as this comes through, he just clicks roller shutter triggers. Now, to be fair, Beastie's only sitting on one Springwood, so roller shutter triggers isn't going to be that impactful here. But obviously there's other upgrades that he can be looking at. He can be looking for elite Palace Guards. He can be looking for elite crossbows. And he's got plenty of gold in the bank if he wants to do that. Boiling Oil also going to be coming through. An expensive upgrade, especially considering your timing on Imperial Age. You can see right now 500 gold coming through. And now at the 23-minute mark, Beastie enters the Imperial Age. And first tech, the first order of the day, is precision crossbreeding. He doesn't care about elite upgrades. Goes straight for the Imperial Palace. Throws a second keep down and... What? Lucifron just says, nah, dude, I'm good. Don't worry. Are you serious? Oh, ladies and gentlemen, what a game. I mean, a little bit of an anticlimactic ending there. If you'd like to check out either of these players, I'll leave links in the description to where you can watch them live. And of course, I'll catch you guys in the next one, which will be coming up very, very soon.